Assalamu alaikum everyone. In the last class, uh, I had explained to you the introduction of financial modeling, where I gave you a brief introduction about myself, the types of financial models, what are the key components of financial models. We were going through these notes that I had made, where I explained to you why it is important to learn financial modeling, in which fields is financial modeling used, investment banking, private equity, venture capital, FP&A, equity research, consulting, or even if a founder is raising funds for his own startup, or you are doing startup consulting on Upwork or other freelance platforms, it's very important to learn financial modeling. What financial modeling helps you to do, course level and audience. Now, this course level and audience, I had the point that was left to explain was course contents. What are going to be the contents of the course? My recorded lectures contain same contents as CFI's FMBA course. I have made it on its basis, and I have added some more contents as well. Some people would have known the CFI FMBA course is the most global, internationally recognized course in financial modeling. But since it is $400 to $500 per student, I have tried to make it to replicate the exact same contents and to make sure that I make a very comprehensive, affordable, and beginner-friendly financial modeling course. So, what are the contents that you are going to learn? Those are going to be introduction to financial modeling, introduction to valuation, where we will do three methods of valuing a company. We will do four methods actually. I added one method, APV method in the last. So four methods you will learn to make to value a company from and make the model from scratch. Selection of peer companies, cost of debt calculation we will see using three methods. Beta calculation we will see using three methods. WACC calculation we will do. Sensitivity analysis of WACC. Now discounted cash flow method, we will do it by method one, which is uh, you will when you watch my lectures going forward, you will realize there are multiple ways to do DCF of a company, but yeah, I explained to you two ways, uh, method one and method two. Then we will have introduction to forecasting sales, operating expenditures, capex, and other balance sheet items. Relative valuation, this is also called comparable company analysis, company valuation. We will do its pre-workings and then the full-fledged relative valuation model, precedent transaction pre-workings, precedent transaction full-fledged model. So this is your third valuation method. First was DCF, second was relative valuation slash comparable company valuation. Third, third is precedent transaction valuation. Then fourth is adjusted present value. Right. We will in the contents going forward, you will learn how to make a proper APV valuation model of a company. We will do football field analysis, two-point analysis. We will do ratio analysis, writing professional commentary. It's not just important to calculate the ratios. You have to, if you're making a professional model, you have to be able to write professional commentary as well and comparing results with analyst opinions. Common size statement, forecasted three statement model will learn. And forecasted three statement model is the biggest chunk of the course because making doing DCF is rather simple, but making a full-fledged forecasted three statement model where all the balance sheet items are linked, and the cash flow is made properly. The P&L items are linked to each other. That is very comprehensive work. So you will see going forward how we did this full length P&L balance sheet and cash flow statement. This is, as I said, most intricate part. One page company profile, you will see at the end that once your entire model is made, how you make the entire one page company profile. Then the last, these are my like the additional parts which I edited in the last. Once you learned how to make a model, once you watched all of my lectures, around 50 to 55 hours worth of lectures, you will understand, you will be able to make a model for equity research also, for investment banking also, for FP&A as well. And if you want to break into Big Four deal advisory as well, you will you will have learned to make the model. But there are many other parts besides being able to just make a model to enter into these fields. So I will explain to you using my brief experience at how we can break into these whole fields once we learn financial model. So these are going to be the contents that you are going to learn going forward. And now coming back to the course, who should take this course? Like before you deep dive into the course, CA, ACCA students and qualifiers gain practical skills beyond exam theory. Many people in CA and ACCA field want to go into deal advisory, so they need to learn to make financial modeling. Financial accounting graduates, they need to make portfolio ready models for their resumes or interviews. So for that, they need to also learn financial modeling. Now, aspiring investment bankers slash VCs, those who want to go into fields like private equity, venture capital, or investment banking, which I personally want to join private equity, inshallah. So for those people, they need to learn models, deals, DCF, comparables, corporate finance analyst. Again, corporate finance and investment banking is a related field. Once you work 3 4 years in corporate finance in investment banking, you can go into corporate finance. FP&A field. This is very a demanded field right now all over the world. Learn scenario building, valuation integration, startup founders or CFOs. Like currently, people who are working as CFOs, they want to join. They want to learn financial modeling, or they uh, they want to raise funds for their own startup, or they want to talk with the investors. They need to learn investor grade modeling to raise capital. Consultants or M&A analysts strengthen Excel-based decision support tools. Now, aspiring freelancers on Upwork again. Upwork, you get a lot of clients, which could be real founders, startup valuation deals. Again, you need to learn proper financial modeling for that. So this and the course focus is going to be the three-statement modeling and valuation modeling. You might have some people might have seen there are steps to financial modeling. Like there's the most basic, but it takes the most time to learn is three-statement modeling. Called model of levels of financial modeling. So at the first, and this is ascending order. So we are going from the lowest to highest. First is three-statement modeling. Although it is the most simplest, there is not much, you would say, strategy involved. There is not much thinking involved. Not any complex concept, but the workings are time consuming. It takes time to master your hands in Excel in three-statement. Second is CF and relative valuation. So once you have learned to make a three-statement model, you just need to know the concept of DCF. And if there are some switches you need to do for DCF of that particular company, like if it's a private company, if it's a listed company in agriculture, in fertilizer sector, their DCF is slightly different. If it's a company in automobile sectors, there could be slight difference. These both you will learn in my course that what are those nuances you need to take care of when you're making DCF and relative valuation for each company that you are making the model of. And same relative valuation, it is very like not highly complex to make the model of relative valuation. Now, the third level is project fund. I would say after this, FP&A models come. Now, people who want to work in FP&A field, they will know that budgeting, forecasting, scenario analysis, these are the things they need to learn. This is also like slightly more complex part. Fourth one, which is the most complex part, is project finance models. Right now, I haven't even learned project finance because they involve raising multi-million dollars of debt, multi-million dollars of, you can say, equity models, IPO models. IPO models comes in the investment banking models, and you can add after that as investment banking models for IPOs, which is your equity capital market. Those people who are doing CFA right now, they would know these terms, the capital market and debt raising, debt capital. So in investment banking, there could be models where companies raising equity by issuing shares. The company is doing private placement, secondary sale of shares. These all come under equity capital market. Sometimes company want to raise debt money for a particular project. Governments mostly when they want to like make a construction project, start a railway project, start some new construction project, they usually raise debt. For that they issue government T-bills. They like Pakistan issued Panda bonds. You might have heard the news. Or when there's also a public-private partnership. This is called PPP, like where the government, which is the public sector and private sector, both come together to work on a project. Maybe government owns and invests 50%, maybe private sector invests 50%. The ratio could be anywhere between 0 to 100%. These are the most complex types of models. So if you want to learn at any stage you are idle and in any field you want to go, these are the two models. Or if you want to work in FP&A, these three models you should be able to make, irrespective of whether you are any. After this, this is also LBO models, which are used in private equity. LBO is basically leveraged buyout where one company buys another using entirely debt. But these all models are very complex. And right now you won't need to, like, even if you go to investment banking, you don't need to learn all these models. They are going to teach you though. You should just be able to learn these three models, and these two right now you will comprehensively cover in my course, the first and second. So hopeful that you will enjoy and see you in the next class.